Our guest today is awarded one of the outstanding young scientists of 2025. His work centers on mental health, focusing on the youth and the LGBTQ community. He currently holds the highest number of international publications on mental health in the Philippines since 2020. We meet this outstanding scientist on Health Matters. And we are joined today via Zoom by Dr. Roald Alibudbud. Beautiful day, Doc Roald. Hello, welcome to the show.
Good morning po. Magandang araw din po.
Good morning. First and foremost, congratulations for receiving the 2025 Outstanding Young Scientist Award from the NAST. Congratulations, Doc. Can you tell us what does this award mean to you and what does it signal about the impact of your research?
I think masaya naman po ako na-receive ko yung award. Tapos po, for me po yung award po is validation po nung contribution ko so far na ginagawa. So, katulad po ng sa mental health, sa substance use, sa HIV, na that was actually adopted to some national policies that we had. So, yun po.
Dr. Roald, just so we have an idea of the volume of work that you have, because we did mention it kanina, that you have the highest number of international publications on mental health in Philippines since 2020. Just how many are we talking about?
About 100, right now po, siguro mga about 120, mga ganun po.
120 international publications.
You know, yeah, so one of the reasons why I asked that, Doc, may free time ka ba? Are you okay?
Actually, okay naman po. Kasi actually, I just work 3 times a week. Tapos,
I feel
mostly
like...
half days doing clinic. So,
Okay.
and konting turo po sa Lasal. Most of the time, I sit on my desk. Ayun po na TV, mga ganyan. So,
Really? So may free time ka ba? So
Oo.
I want to know the secret of to be able to publish 120 pieces of
Yeah.
work
Pero you know, I
internationally.
feel like si Doc Roald chooses his battles. Pag alam niyang
Ayun.
ma-traffic, mag-zoom na lang tayo.
So are you saying, anyway, that's a different story.
Okay.
Doc, ignore her. All right. But all right. So you mentioned a while ago that your works have been used to government policy in legislation. And of course, napaka-importante yan because the topics that you cover involve mental health, involve I believe also would be used for yung anti-bullying policy ng DepEd. I mean, there are so many pieces of works that you have that are now trying to impact us in real life. Are there any pieces of work that you feel na talaga yung impact, nagulat ka that it's happening and at the same time that you're proud of that it's making a difference?
I think before po kasi, I was part of a team sa, I think funded by an international NGO, a UN agency. Tapos ano po, yung work namin na-adopt siya para sa National Rehabilitation Program for substance use. So during the height of the war on drugs, so technically it provides the framework for how to do community-based rehabilitation all over the country sa lahat ng barangays.
You know, Doc, one of the reasons why, we wanted you on the show was because we wanted to pick your brain on certain matters,
Yes.
especially very important matters, actually, that Filipinos have been talking about. One of those is the DepEd orders, the standard anti-bullying policy. You know, lately there have been reports about people being bullied in school, students being bullied.
Yeah.
Right. Some as young as, third grade.
Yeah.
Grade 3 student na nabully ng mga high school students in a certain province.
Resulting in injury, resulting in obviously mental trauma as well.
Yes. So, what are your thoughts on this, Doc?
Actually, for me, maganda naman siya na may renewed call, especially with the coming nung Basic Education ng Mental Health and Wellbeing and Promotions Act na nag-require ng mga mental health professionals sa school. Maganda din na may framework for how to monitor it better. Kasi dati, matagal na naman kasi siya ang anti-bullying policy. I think it has been there since 2013. So, and it was revised recently.
Mm.
Tapos may mga hotlines to call on the government, on the schools to actually report kahit wala kang nire-report, ibig sabihin kailangan pa ding i-report na walang bullying na nagaganap dun sa ano, it makes people more accountable. Siguro moving forward lang, maganda yung may framework, maganda yung may programs na balak magawin. Ang problem lang siguro usually sa Pilipinas, yung implementation on how
Yeah.
Right.
it is sustained in the future, pati how do we calibrate actually the program? Kasi meron naman mga manuals actually sa UNICEF, for example, na on how to train teachers, how to train parents on bullying, ganyan. Pero how do we make it culturally fit din sa Pilipinas? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng sinabi ng Western na countries applicable sa
Yeah.
Philippines. So, ayun. So, yun lang yung siguro moving forward on how it can be kasi it's standardized.
Yeah.
So, how can you make it fit for the culture of a certain place? Even within the Philippines din kasi iba-iba din
Mm.
yung culture, iba-iba din yung pera, 'di ba? For example, lalo na ang mga support ng schools, different for each region. So, Metro Manila, mayaman. So,
Oo.
compared to something like somewhere na mga third class, fifth class municipality, it's they have less support
Right.
that
Doc, do you feel that schools are, doing enough to protect their students from these cases of bullying? Kasi as you've mentioned, matagal nang merong anti-bullying law, and
Mm.
ang nagiging problem lang is the implementation. What can the schools do
Ah,
to really protect their students from being bullied?
I think maganda yung framework ngayon eh. It's very multi-sectoral that involves the family,
Mm-hmm.
the teachers, the mental health profession, and even the peers. So,
Mm.
maganda na may involvement lahat. So, yung ibang schools kasi nag-start na, especially, kasi yung mga familiar ako usually nasa Metro Manila kasi sila yung side projects namin for the research.
Yes.
Mm.
So, I think they started on training, on peer support na policy. Some even have peer groups na parang paano mo i-help yung kapwa mo, yung classmate mo. Tapos yung iba din merong um, trainings for teachers. Pero ayun nga, kasi sa Metro Manila yon. So I'm not sure sa ibang
Yeah.
bayan kasi
Yeah.
Right,
may
right.
mga parts din ng Metro Manila na nahihirapan.
Yeah.
So,
Mas lalo
um,
na sa probinsya.
Yes.
mas
Oo.
lalo na siguro sa probinsya
I
because of the
understand. Yeah. Doc,
tapos
sorry, I want to jump in on that because right before we move on to the next topic, you did mention about re- well, hindi naman the requirement or at least a suggestion na mental health professionals also become part of yung mga proseso na to. But for me, do we even have enough mental health professionals to be able to help address this type of problem?
ayun yung problem din kasi do we have enough, for example, for a psychiatrist, there's only about I think 600. So, for the whole ilan tayong population yun, 12 million yata, 112 million Filipinos. So, saan lupalop ka
Mm-hmm.
kukuha ng psychiatrist? So, for example, so, yun din yung mga problem. So, hindi mo din naman pwede madaliin kasi baka naman yung competency ng nung mental health professionals mo hindi enough to cater to the population, 'di ba? So, yung gano'n sa mga pangangailangan mismo ng tao. So, gusto
Mm-hmm.
natin kung dadami yung mental health professional sa Pilipinas, ano din, well-equipped din, 'di ba, na matugunan yung mga pangangailangan ng mga tao. So, ayun, I think it's a long road ahead for
Yeah,
Mm.
that.
I
Yeah, yeah.
understand. You know, Doc, we're so impressed with your resume and the work that you've done that
Mm.
we only have hard questions for you. So kaya Anne will have this next one.
Yes. The next thing that we want to tackle with you is the DOH raised alarm on rising cases of HIV. You've highlighted, Doc, that the new HIV diagnoses in the Philippines have soared. It now averages 55 per day, 411% increase since 2012. So the
Mm.
DOH has already flagged this as an alarming surge. Ano sa tingin mo yung mga key drivers behind this spike?
Well, for one, siguro additional background lang for
Mm.
HIV. Philippines. Matagal na tayo yung pinakamataas sa Western Pacific. I think a decade ago pa tayo na yung pinakamataas sa
Mhm.
region natin. So, um, yung one of the key drivers I think yung kasi most of the people affected by HIV are marginalized sector like men who have sex with men, so bisexual and gay men mostly. So I think yung stigma pa din on consulting kasi yung stigma pwedeng matakot ka kasi una pag pumunta ka dun sa HIV testing center baka mapagbintangan ka bakla ganyan so kaagad hindi ka pa out sa pamilya mo hindi ka pa out sa ano mo community mo so that yung pa lang deterrent na 'di ba for getting tested
Yeah.
tapos Um, yung services din, available ba siya dun sa nare-reach ba yung information ng yung mga bata, 'di ba? Kung ipagbabawal natin for example, sexual education sa school or very limited yung training din, pati yung kaalaman, baka ang pinag-uusapan pa natin, yung mga sinauna pang sakit like gonorrhea, ganyan, or hindi natin na fully cover. So, nako-cover ba talaga siya dun sa curriculum natin sa basic education? Kasi ang nano-note kasi na mataas yung increase youth, so 15
Mm.
to 25 years old. So, ngayon nga mabuti may law na puwede na mag-test kasi dati magko-consent ka pa. So, siyempre ang experience ko hindi naman papayag yung magulang, sabihin nilang bata-bata pa nung anak ko
Yeah.
para
Yeah, yeah.
pag-check. So, ngayon at least kasi ngayon puwede nang i-waive 'yun kahit papaano. So, ayun. Kasi medyo madami kasing stigma around it. Tapos with the, cutting pa ng USAID na
Right.
nagpo-provide dati ng, funding for a lot of our HIV projects.
Yeah.
So, may mga clinics din na nag-downsize na. So, especially yung mga, non-government organizations and even some of the programs are down.
Mm.
Mhm.
So ayun,
Yeah, it makes things a lot more difficult for sure, especially
yeah,
when dealing with HIV.
mm,
You mentioned that the cases have been rising, especially amongst the youth. Now, we actually have a couple of questions directed to the youth in particular.
mm,
Dahil ngayon, we actually end up talking a lot about substance abuse and even addiction
mm,
for different things among the youth in particular. Some already have been gambling, some have been abusing substances,
mm.
some have I mean, there are so many ways to go about it. When we talk about addiction, substance abuse among the youth, what needs to be addressed most, in your opinion, Doc?
I think, kasi ang kabataan usually ito yung time to experiment on our behaviors, eh. Dito magsisimula
Mhm.
mag-yosi, mag-try mag-yosi, mag-drugs. I think ang kailangan din tingnan kasi what pushed them kasi maganda na yung ngayon sa halimbawa bawal na magtinda ng yosi malapit sa school. So kailangan mo din kasi ng policy supportive of it. Hindi lang yung 'pag nagka-addiction na dun mo lang i-a-address. Baka maganda ulit may preventive din na hindi lang
Yeah.
deterrent na
Mm.
ikukulong ka o kung ano man, 'di ba, tatanggalan ka ng whatever, ng privileges sa 'di ba? So, baka maganda tingnan din natin na na-e-educate ba natin for one, do they know the risk of these drugs if they try it? For example, ba common sa bata marijuana, 'di ba? So, or shabu. So, ayun yung medyo mas common. So, do they know the risk of when they take this?
Mm.
Halimbawa, shabu puwedeng may, ah puwedeng depressed ganyan or
Yeah.
Right.
puwedeng
Yeah.
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 puwedeng puwedeng mawala ka sa sarili mo. Tapos tinitingnan din ba natin yung situation nung mga bata na gumagamit. Kasi most of the time, people who have an addiction self-medicate something. Kasi, ang mga substances naman of abuse meron silang mga effect talaga sa katawan natin.
Yeah.
For example,
Mm.
alak lang 'di ba 'pag after ng exams usually ang gawain ng mga tao 'di ba dun mag-iinuman usually, kasi to decrease the anxiety stemming from the exam kasi,
Mm.
alcohol is a natural na anxiolytic na pampawala ng anxiety. So, yung mga gano'n. So, kung gumagamit ba, so what makes them more depressed in their environment or
I
more anxious?
understand.
Yeah.
Right. So, Doc, I wish we had more time to talk about and really get into the nitty gritty. But then again, you've done so much work from a
Mm,
large with a large body of topics or wide ranging topics. I want to
mm,
focus first on yung use nito in terms of actually helping inform national policy. When you started out your career, when you started doing your research, na imagine mo ba that it would have such importance in terms of actually helping inform yung national policy natin? And of course, has that changed your own view of what nation building is with the work that you do?
Actually, hindi ko din akalain na talagang i-a-adopt nila. We were told to actually ang pinakauna ko kasing research, it's a project funded by an international UN organization na, as in directly talaga siya kinukuha ng DOH that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I knew that it would affect national policy 'pag ginawa namin. Pero hindi ko lang alam na yung scale would be national 'pag inimplement na.
Right.
Tapos siguro it was an inspiring moment actually to make more, researches that actually impacts the community, especially yung sa LGBTQ+ na
Mm.
community. I think kailangan mo ng data to advocate for something kasi mahirap mag-advocate ng alam mo yun, wala kang ebidensya na
Yeah.
talagang
Yeah.
nangyayari 'to. So, for me, hindi ako makikita sa streets kasi that's not me. Hindi ako magwewelga, ganyan.
Mm-hmm.
So, my form of advocacy is actually, writing about it. So, and providing evidence for people who goes to the street. So,
Yeah.
kasi ito naman yung role natin, 'di ba? When we, believe in something,
You know, it's
ayun.
funny,
Right.
Doc, because we might not see in the streets, pero base sa poster na yun na nakita natin kanina, labas nga natin ulit yung, I think yung NAST poster ni Doc Rowalt. Mukhang tatakbo siya eh. Hindi yan, yung isa pa. Yan, Lasal yan. Oh, pero ang galing mo. Yan, oh,
Ayan,
ayan, oh.
oo. Boboto ka namin, Doc Roald.
Doc Rowalt. No, but Doc,
But-
we really appreciate the time that you spent here
Yes.
with us. And of course, ako personally, I'm really happy to have a Lasallian on all the time because
Right.
there are not enough of us here on the show.
Sakto nga rin yung color.
Oh, sakto
natin
yung
ng
color. Health
background,
matters kasi.
Yeah,
But then,
yeah.
of course, we have this little routine that we do on the show, Anne.
Yeah, so this show is called Beautiful Day. So, Doc Roald, what makes your day beautiful?
The people, mostly. The people that I meet every day makes
Mm.
our life beautiful.
Oh, that's so nice. And ano mo, it would have been nicer kung sabi niya na, kaya ko pala pumunta sa studio. At hindi lang nag-Zoom.
Maybe next time. But thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us today. 2025 Outstanding Young Scientist, Dr. Roald Alibudbud. Thank you.